After 17 years of meticulous planning, Dongen finally decided to throw a revenge party. Her first rule: never get her hands dirty, just need to play a few tricks. The sweetest revenge is to let each enemy die in despair. But just as she was preparing for her happy hour, the biggest twist appeared. That self-proclaimed mom, who was undeniably shameless, upon hearing that her daughter had been promoted to a senior teacher, actually came knocking and babbled incessantly about her so-called life wisdom. And just a couple of days ago, the leader of the bullying gang, Park Yanjin, showed up at her door, attempting to bribe her once again, just as they had done in the past. A mother selling out her daughter, only for the right price. Her eyes lit up like she just saw the last slice of pizza, and her conscience vanished in a blink, proving Park Yanjin has an eye for people. This mom, like before, jumped at the chance, took the deposit, and dressed up fancy, arriving at Dongen's like for the Oscars, insisting on moving in. Completely ignoring her daughter's feelings, Dongen sighed helplessly. Facing this wonderful mom, she was at a total loss and could only endure. From then on, Dongen never returned home. Her mom and boyfriend started causing havoc, using the list from Yanjin to extort fees from parents. That tactic was ruthless. Soon, parents surrounded Dongen, and that's when she realized her mom had teamed up with her enemies. Later, Dongen pushed open the door to see her mom happily hugging the gifts from the parents. Facing her daughter's painful accusations, the mom was as guilty as a cat in a fish market. Dongen completely lost it, grabbed the pair of scissors, but like a magician, just dropped them. Her mom opened her eyes, staring at her daughter as if she just spotted an alien, ready to think about packing her bags and leaving. Her mom gaped at her daughter like she just saw her favorite pizza, utterly shocked, and the outcome. Facing her daughter's heart-wrenching accusations, this mom felt no guilt, and Dongen broke down. She picked up the scissors and started shredding the handbag like it was paper. No matter how her mom pleaded, today she was determined to cut the last shred of connection with her. Blood burst from the wound like a bad action movie, and at that moment, Dongen went through shock, sadness, and finally, hatred. What a plot twist. She had thought about getting revenge on her mom, but always hesitated. Even now, her phone contact still reads mom. But this moment shattered all of Dongen's last hopes for her mom. Sitting in her car, she felt like a deflated balloon. A few days later, Dongen returned home and ordered her mom to get out ASAP. But what's a twist, this troublemaker now wanted to play the moral. Don't be fooled by her drunken antics, she's actually really clever. She knew Dongen had a serious aversion to heat, so she prepped the gas stove and began her prank. Suddenly, the room was engulfed in flames, and Dongen was sweating bullets, struggling to breathe. Meanwhile, her mum was excitedly flailing her arms like she was at a dance party, thinking this would intimidate. Little did she know, the flames devoured everything, including Dongen's last affection for her. The next day, the surveillance footage made a highly anticipated and grand entrance on the psychiatrist's computer. At this point, her mom realized things were off and desperately insisted she wasn't crazy. But with every word, the doctor was writing her a ticket to Crazy Town. Of course, that's a mere lie. At this very moment, everything is solely dependent on Dongen. She handed the diagnosis and hospitalization agreement to the authorities. Years ago, she signed her name for profit, ruining her daughter's, and now, with one agreement, Dongen ensured her mom would spend the rest of her life in a psychiatric hospital. You enjoy pretending to be crazy, huh? Well, let's indulge you in it fully and enjoy it to the fullest. I'm the true daughter, your sole lifeline. You are never coming back. You jerk, you are not a saint either. What are you doing? You jerk. And that's the revenge saga of Dongen. Next, we'll see her pull off the ultimate board knife trick to successfully take down Park Yanjin's rich husband. A board knife not only dealt with Sun Mingwu from the bully team, but also made Yanjin carry a heavy burden of. Up next, Dongen targeted one of the bully gang, Ms. Lai Sarah. With obvious weaknesses, she was supposed to be the preacher's daughter, but turned out to be a total bug. In the past, she'd get Sun Mingwu to buy her drugs, but since his little incident, the police tagged it as a drug case. Lai Sarah feared eventual involvement. She didn't want jail, and her family was scared too. Quitting drugs was her sole option, yet the overly pampered Sarah could scarcely endure such relentless suffering. Ignoring her parents' warnings, she threw tantrums and pulled every trick in the book, just wanting to escape to the land of freedom. During detox, Lai Sarah felt horrible, like a million ants were gnawing at her, making her wish she was never born. One day, she got a mysterious text revealing a bag of drugs at a construction site of a church and invited her to a little gathering. Oh my gosh, how could Sarah resist such a temptation? The preacher's daughter made a dramatic turn under the cross. Meanwhile, Dongen posted in the church group, inviting everyone to enjoy the show. The news spread fast, and soon churchgoers gathered around, witnessing Sarah throw a wild party, creating quite the scene. By the time she realized what was happening, a crowd surrounded her, and the flashlights captured her most embarrassing moments. Yanjin, did you really think the drama would just end here today? Nope. An hour ago, Dongen had already asked friends to post explosive news online regarding the bullying incident, which even involved murder. Although unnamed, the article hinted at Park Yanjin, with some fanning flames piquing curiosity. Ultimately, netizens traced it back to Yanjin, and her phone blew up. What was she going to do about all the scandal? Before long, the drama between these sisters erupted online. Sarah realized she would eventually be in trouble, so she dyed her hair, hoping to confuse the authorities if she got caught. In a rush, she packed her bags, ready to run from consequences, but alas, it was too late. Lie Sarah, the police are here for you. However, since it was her first offense and with her great dad in her corner, ultimately she was only temporarily detained. And her best friend Yanjin wasn't faring well. This scandal ruined her reputation and impacted her husband's company stock.